The Bulletproof Business Plan is going to outline how you can reverse engineer a simple strategy for exceeding your goals in life and business and community. There's a lot of reasons why small business owners struggle to meet their goals and find themselves spinning their wheels day after day, month after month, or year after year. The first is not having a clear outcome or compass. In other words, most business owners don't have a well-defined picture of what success looks like over the long term. So things like lifestyle, income, business, what their team or contribution should look like. So that's why a lot of us are spinning our wheels, because if we don't have a destination that's well defined, there's very little chance of us getting there. And the other main reason why business owners struggle or fail is what I call dead end syndrome. It has us spinning our wheels, finding ourselves in the same spot day after day, month after month, year after year, because we're bouncing all over the place. And with lack of that compass and not having something on the horizon we're aiming to, we find ourselves always dealing with what's right in front of our face. That's why we have a lot of crises, a lot of bouncing all over the place in terms of marketing strategy, because we don't have a well-defined outcome. So that dead end syndrome is something we can beat in 4 simple steps. So the Bulletproof Business Plan allows you to kind of, again, mitigate the long term and find out exactly what you should be doing right now in 4 simple steps. Let's cover them. The first step is to zoom way out and define your why. In other words, 3 years from now, where should you be? Things like, again, success, balance, time. What should your revenue be? Your income, your profitability, your team, your contribution. We're going to cover how to do this in a moment, but understand that the first thing you have to do is zoom all the way out and think about, why am I doing this? Is this a business I should be in? If I'm looking at multiple opportunities, which one of those is really going to provide me the freedom and revenue and contribution? So I have to start all the way beyond 30,000 foot out in space and say, hey, what's my big why? Where do I want to be in 3 years? The second step is to create your map. So this is more like the 1 year kind of strategy. What would be true in 1 year for me to be headed for that big why? What would be in place in terms of my team, my revenue? What numbers am I aiming to hit in 1 year in order to make sure that I'm headed for my long-term agenda, my long-term goal? Then the third step we're going to cover is how to build your bridge. So you have your big picture why, your 1 year strategy of what you want to do. Now we're talking about the how. So for the next 90 days, what 3 key initiatives have to be live for you to be on track? And then finally, you have to zoom way in. This is the most important, is what should you be doing right now this week to grow your business to hit those 90-day goals? So think about it. What you should be doing right now is only pointing to your 90-day goals, which are only pointing to your 1 year, which is pointing to your 3 year. The result of this is ninja-like execution, which means everything you're doing is eliminating wasted time or money. When you show up to complete work, even if you have very limited time right now for marketing or building your business, you need to know that that time that you're spending is absolutely going to be used in a fruitful and productive way in producing results. So you're not going to figure out what to do and test things and try things. You have to show up knowing that whatever you put up is going to end up producing revenue and results. So let's look at the framework. But remember, those 4 big steps are represented right here. Your 3 year vision, which is why you're doing this in the first place. Your 1 year goals, meaning what needs to be true in 1 year to be on track for that big why. Your 90-day strategy, or how, and then this week's actions now. What do you need to be doing right now? So if I look, for example, at the 3 year vision, I might say, okay, well, what metrics need to be true? What kind of sales numbers and profitability should I have in 3 years to meet and exceed that big why? And what's my motivation? That's the why. Why do I want to do this in the first place? How do I want to feel in 3 years? What purpose should I have? And then the lifestyle, things like the leverage I have. Am I leveraging others, either intellectual property or time or work, to complete my bigger goals so I can reach a bigger audience? So I'm not trading time for dollars, so to speak. So you have to write these things down. This is the fun part. You get to say, wow, where could I be? What's my wildest, big, hairy, audacious goal for where I should be in 3 years? And then finally, what structure will allow this to be true? What kind of team do I have in place? What kind of products do I have in place? What do these things look like? So just write down in the upper left-hand quadrant all these categories, and then we're going to get into the 1 year goals, or the what. Okay, in the right-hand quadrant here, you can see we have the 1 year goals, or the what. What needs to be true? These are the steps. What truths need to exist in terms of metrics, deliverables, capacity? In other words, metrics. What sales numbers and profit should you have to be on track with a 3 year vision? Now, it doesn't mean you take the 3 year vision and divide it by 3, because that would be great if that was true, but usually there's economy of scale and we've already figured things out. So you only have to have 20 or 25% of your 3-year goal accomplished next year, because once you get there, it's going to be easy to scale. So then we look at deliverables. What products and pricing should be existing or live in 1 year from now in order to be on track for that 3-year why? So if I don't have multiple products, or I don't have a coaching or mastermind program, or I don't have a partnership or JV program, maybe that would have to be live. And then capacity, ability to scale. The third thing in the 1 year section is, what would be my restriction? So if I were to 10x my sales or 50x my sales, where would my business break? Do I not have enough salespeople, fulfillment, partners, distribution? So regardless of what kind of business you have, and especially if you're just starting out, you need to think about this stuff now. Because as we get to the 90-day and this week's actions, it's all that much more important that you're solely focused on what's going to help you hit these 1 year numbers. Now, the 3-year, it's important to point out the 3-year vision is often the horizon. It doesn't need to be specific. These are big numbers and goals. The 1 year gets more specific. It should be milestones based, what needs to be true. Now let's look at the 90-day or how. What are the 3 key things we have to do to be on track just in this 90-day sprint? Or 3 things we need to do in the next 3 months to make sure we're going to kill our 1 year goal. So in this section, in the 90-day strategy, we have 3 key projects. We have, it's always 3. You can't have 6 goals. That's a lot of the problems, a lot of the reasons why we struggle with marketing is because a lot of people write down, I'm going to do like these 37 things, have 9 webinars up and I'll launch 5 products. Then you don't get the first one done for 3 months and you're discouraged. Then what you do is you scrap the whole system. I'm going to show you how to make this stick with accountability in a moment. But anyway, what 3 key things need to be live in the next 90 days? Now, what I want you to do is actually write the date. So next to 90-day strategy, literally, what is 90 days from today? Is it August 7th? Is it June 9th? Is it January 5th? 90 days from today, I want you to write down that date, because you're going to do a new one of these every 90 days. That's really the key, because your vision might change, your goals might change. They shouldn't be reduced in terms of metrics, but you need to look up like a groundhog. Okay, every 90 days, let me look around, see where I am. Am I still headed in the right direction? Did I get these 3 things done? So they have to be actionable items. Launch this, publish this, sell this, right? So 100 new clients, launch new webinar, hire 2 new salespeople. What are the 3 things you need to do to make this 90-day strategy true, right? Then, and most importantly, and really all that matters where most business owners fail, is what you should be doing now via this week's actions. Okay, this week's actions right now. Here's what I want you to do. I literally want you to post this whole bulletproof business plan on your wall somewhere where you and your team can see it. If you have other people on your team, they should each have one, but you should have your master business one right up on the wall. Now, every week, what you do is you post a Post-it note, literally just a Post-it note of this week's actions. 3 things that absolutely have to be true. And you can make one of them dead easy, like go to the gym once or publish 1 blog post or something. Make it really simple so you have momentum and a feeling of victory. So what 3 things need to be live right now for you to accomplish your goals? Then you publish it. You put another Post-it note up the next week on every Monday. How did I do last week? Did I get those things checked off? And right over the last Post-it note, you place one for the next week. So you're going to do that for 12 weeks, for 90 days. Then at the end of the 90 days, you debrief, you look at this strategy, and you create a new one. You have 3 new 90-day objectives, and you need to make sure that this week, whatever you're doing, supports those 90-day goals. You need to move all those goals forward, or one at a time, however you prefer to work, depending on what they are. But let me tell you something. I guess I already did. Here's the thing. If I ask 100 business owners, what are you working on right now to grow your business? 99.9 don't have an answer, or it doesn't support some bigger strategy, or it's not the right thing. They're doing all kinds of stuff out there. They're saying, I'm working on content marketing and SEO and blogging. And the truth is they don't have a model in place, which is what we're going to cover in the upcoming webinar. So what I want you to do now before the webinar is just, or maybe if you're going on the webinar in the next day or 2, just make sure you set a goal. Just fill this out. Make one of your actions to actually do this bulletproof business plan, because then we're going to fill in the blanks during the upcoming webinar so you know exactly what you should be doing this week and over the next 90 days with our clear strategy. So the most important thing is, what's the one thing you should be doing right now? And I want you to answer that with the bulletproof business plan.